So hello and namaskar Instafam, very good evening. I'm Shilpa, moderator for this session. Today our topic of discussion is CMAT 2023, where CMAT stands for Common Management Admission Test, and our agenda for today's session is overview of CMAT, colleges accepting CMAT score, marking scheme, syllabus and exam pattern, latest changes in CMAT, section-wise preparation tips, mocks and revision strategy, CMAT score versus percentile. Now you guys have to give me a moment so that I can join our today's expert for into this the points I have just mentioned. Okay, meanwhile, if you have any questions related to CMAT admission 2023, then feel free to share it either in the comment section or in the Q&A section, and I will try my level best to get it answered by our today's expert. And here he is, our expert for today's session. We have Arun Chaturvedi with us. I heartily welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
And let's begin this session, sir. First, if we could just have your introduction so that everybody could know you better.
Okay. So I am Arun Chaturvedi and I am Chief Operating Officer at Mindworks. I have been mentoring students for the various competitive exams like CAT, ZAT, IFT, CMAT, SNAP, and MAT, and all these host of entrance exams for the top B schools and other B schools for last 10 years now. And I'm happy to answer any queries student might have regarding CMAT. This session is specifically for CMAT. One thing which I would want to tell in the starting is CMAT is one of the last exams, and it has its score is accepted in more than 1300 colleges. So people who feel that their preparation is not on track and only 1 month is left for CAT, they can look at this exam because you have ample time and it is not that tough. So that will cover as we move ahead.
Thank you so much, sir, for that brief introduction. And to those people who have just joined, if you have any questions related to CMAT 2023, then you can post either in the comment section or in the Q&A section. And I will get those questions answered from our today's expert. So, sir, coming back to you, if you could just tell us more about the CMAT examination, like what exactly is it and which all colleges accept CMAT score?
So CMAT stands for Common Management Admission Test. Like CAT is Common Admission Test, and CMAT, M is added, so M stands for Management. So it's a common test, and the syllabus is of class 10th level, just like CAT. The only difference is in CAT, the level of toughness of the question is quite high. Here you can expect the questions to be easy to moderate. And this exam is conducted by NTA, National Testing Agency, which also conducts IFT. So it's like a government exam, and the paper pattern is quite similar to IFT if you compare it in that sense. There are 5 segments here. QA and DI are in one section. Then you have logical reasoning at the second section. Then you have language skills, basically which we call RC or English. GK is the 4th segment, and 5th segment, which was added last year, is basically innovation and entrepreneurship. So this segment is basically testing the students on their management skills on people who want to set up their own business. So I'll talk about it in detail as we move ahead, what all needs to be studied here. But mainly these 5 segments are there. And this exam is basically a speed test, you can call it so. In 3 hours, the paper will be of 3 hours. There will be 100 questions. Last year's pattern, I'm telling you, it might change because every year there are some changes, but by and large it revolves around the same figure. So 20 questions per segment, and plus 4 minus 1. So 4 for the correct answer, minus 1 for the negative, for people who are scoring, making it wrong. And this is a computer-based test, just like CAT. The way you go to a center for CAT and give the test on a computer, similarly CMAT will be conducted. It is not to be taken from home, and it is not pen paper based. You have to go to the center, you have to select your center. There are more than 150 centers where the test is conducted. So in whichever state of India you are, you can take the test. It is mainly for the Indian people. And what else? If I talk about the toughness level, I have told you it is easy to moderate. questions will be from the syllabus similar to CAT. But if you are preparing for CAT, it is quite likely that you will be able to do well in CMAT also. So that was regarding CMAT, rough brief.
So, sir, the moment we open up the registration for this particular session, we have received a set of questions from the students. Am I
Right.
audible to you? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'll start taking up a few more questions quickly. Anumeha has this question: how to score well on CMAT? What should be my preparation strategy? Please tell us the section-wise prep tips.
Okay. So first and foremost, you need to understand that if you are preparing for CAT, CMAT won't be difficult to you. But in case you have left maths long back and you have workex and you are not in tune, so you don't need to touch the higher segments. The tough questions of CAT you need to ignore. You just need to focus on the basic and the moderate ones. So that is the first thing. Second thing, which is true for all competitive exams, whichever you take, you should know the syllabus and you should solve last 5 years, minimum 5 years, if possible 10 years or 15 years of paper, past year question papers. Once you solve those questions, at least see 1 year's paper. Once you see, then you know what kind of questions are coming, what is the depth of the question, how tough it is, how easy it is, and which all areas are being covered. So before you start, have the syllabus. Syllabus is quite similar to CAT, except for the fact that in English you have synonyms, antonyms also. So vocabulary you have to look for. Grammar is there, and in logical reasoning, coding, decoding, blood relations, sequence and series. So a lot of topics which are not directly asked in CAT, but they are asked in CMAT. So you need to look at that also. And remaining is you just need to practice. So if you have 3 months time, even if you start in, I'll not advise you to start in Jan. If you are preparing for CAT, obviously your preparation is going side by side, but 3 months is more than sufficient to crack the CMAT exam. You just need to solve the basic questions well and revise thoroughly. Speed is important, so work on your calculation techniques, work on your how to eliminate options. So if you do that, and if you have lesser time, maybe I can tell you that in so for example for QA, the three most important areas are arithmetic, then you have algebra and number system. So if you have less time, supposing only 1 month is left, or your QA is weak, your quants is weak, then if you focus only on these three segments, your 80% of the paper will be covered. So you should know which areas the more questions come from and accordingly modify your preparation. Ideally, it is advised that every student who is preparing for a particular exam should cover the entire syllabus, because you never know. Supposing you are leaving geometry and an easy question comes from geometry, again you will be stuck. So that is something which has to be avoided. But yes, based on your comfort level, based on the time you have, if you are working, you have a hectic work life, you're not able to manage time for your preparation. In that case, pick up those topics which are tough, which are asked more in number, and build on your strength. That should take you through.
Thank you for that guidance, sir. I can see one question in the Q&A box. So the question has been asked by Ruhi, and she's asking how to overcome LR because I'm very much scared.
So logical reasoning, unlike CAT and other exams, LRDI is not combined in this segment. Logical reasoning is a proper separate section here, and logical reasoning has some questions which are linked with maths, with quants. So like sequence and series is part of APGP. So it is, nothing can be taught in logical reasoning, unlike quants or maths where there are a lot of formulas, there are a lot of tricks. Here you have to basically solve questions. So my advice would be two-pronged. If you find logical reasoning to be weak, then whichever book you have, normally I advise students to take Arun Sharma sir's books, because those books are quite popular and they have been in the segment for more than 20 years now. So it is covering everything in detail. So whichever book you have, you take that book, start solving questions. If spend 5 minutes, if you're not able to figure it out, see the answers and try to know what has been done to solve this. Once you have seen around 50 questions, your comfort level will increase. And before you start studying the next day, you basically have to go back and solve the questions again. So revision is important. If you are finding a particular section difficult, revise. So if you have solved 50 questions, do it neatly. And when the 51st question comes in, if it is from the previous concept, go back and see it and try to solve yourself again. So you should not see more than 50 questions. 50 questions is good enough in any area to build that comfort level. If you are only seeing the solution, then what will happen is your mind will not think. You have to develop your mind so that you are able to think through and solve the question at your pace and in the exam also.
Sir, I had wanted to ask you one question. Will there be the straight questions like the concept-based, simple concept-based question, or there will be some application-based questions?
So the paper will be divided into three segments as always: easy, moderate, and tough. So supposing there are 20 questions in quants, so roughly you can assume that 12 to 14 questions will be easy, which will be direct formula based or concept based. There will be 3-4 questions of moderate level wherein one or two segments will be involved, and 2-3 questions will be tricky, quite tough. So the student should know which question to attempt and which question to leave. That is the whole point of preparation. The preparation, if you do well, if you have solved, say in 3 months, you have solved 500 questions of QA or logical reasoning, you will know that this is your strength area. And in the exam, you won't be entangled in a question which is tricky. You know which to leave, how to leave, and which all you have to attempt. So that preparation will help you there.
And sir, one more question. While we are just doing the revision, how we can judge ourselves whether we are just improving with the each and every mocks we are attempting?
It is advisable that when you attempt a mock, if you are say attempting for CMAT, it will be a 3-hour mock because the paper is of 3 hours. So you should spend another 6 hours analyzing the mock, because just taking the mock will not give you any benefit, especially for the first 5 or 10 mocks. You need to spend more time. As you mature, as you understand that okay, this is your comfort level, you can reduce the time. But it's very important that when you analyze, supposing out of 100 your 60 questions are correct and 20 are wrong, you should know those 20 questions why they are wrong. And was it wrong because you didn't know the concept, or was it wrong because there was a silly mistake? So that categorization has to be done. If there is a conceptual mistake, go back and study that concept again and see if you are able to solve that question without seeing the answer. And if it is a silly mistake, then work on your skills, be more sincere, practice more so that those errors don't come up.
So I have two questions. One is from a student, and one question I want to ask you. Is CAT
Yeah.
preparation sufficient for CMAT?
See, the preparation when it comes to syllabus is sufficient, but the paper is of 3 hours, so you need to have that stamina, that energy to sustain for 3 hours, unlike CAT, which is for 2 hours. So the mocks have to be done. You need to do at least 10 to 15 mocks minimum. I will advise you to go around 30 if you want to score 99.9 plus in CMAT
Okay.
to get KBIMS or the top B schools. You should
Hmm.
basically do 30 mocks, and that mock should be in the slot either 9 to 12 or 12 to 3, whatever time frame the exam is conducted. If you do that, then it will be sufficient. But you cannot say that you have prepared for CAT and then CMAT will be a cakewalk. That won't happen. You have to do the mocks. You have to do certain areas like GK is again a new area which is not there in CAT. So for GK, you have to
Huh.
prepare separately. Then in English, grammar comes directly here, so you have to prepare grammar also. And when you talk about logical reasoning, I think most of the area is covered. But still, in logical reasoning also, sequence and series and arrangement questions, coding, decoding, blood relations, these are not a part of the CAT syllabus. So these you have to basically sit and practice separately. Otherwise, 80% preparation for CMAT will be done if you do well for CAT.
So sir, next up we have a question from Tahera Fatma, and she is asking, can I clear CMAT by self-study?
Yes, definitely. Any exam, be it CAT, UPSC, IIT, any exam can be done separate by self study. Only thing is there are four important parameters which you should know. before you attempt or before you aim for a exam through self preparation. One is you should have the right study material, because the books are available in the market, and that is good enough if you follow that, if you solve the questions. So right study material, right mock test. Mock test you'll have to take, because even if you're preparing through the books, you need to do the mock test, because knowing a question is a different thing. Solving correctly in the pressure, in the time frame of the exam is a different thing. So to do that, you have to take mock test. You have to know which questions to leave, which to solve, and how to attempt, which how to pace your solving so that you reach the last question. Many times I have seen people who are very good, have prepared well, prepared for 1 year, but in the exam they're not able to reach complete the entire paper, because especially for exams like SNAP and CMAT, where the questions are more in number and the time is less. So you'll have to have a mock test, you'll have to study material, and the most important thing, you have to have a doubt clearing platform. So for that, if you are preparing for self-study, you can have a group of students, maybe 4, 5, 8 friends if you are preparing, and create a WhatsApp group or Telegram group, and whatever queries you have, post there, see if it is answered. I think it should be answered by your friends. So doubt clearing, and the final thing which is important is self-discipline. So if you are dedicated, if you are self-disciplined, then I don't think you need to take any kind of coaching. You can prepare and you can ace any exam. But the only problem is self-discipline is lacking in most students. Mock test you can get the study material also. Doubt clearing platform is also lacking, because when you have a mentor, you have a guide, he or she is there with you, and then there are a group of students also who are there with you. So there the momentum is maintained and the chances of success increases. So just analyze yourself on the self-discipline front. If you feel that you are disciplined, and do it for a week or 10 days, make a plan, do it. If you are disciplined, then nothing like it, and there's no point wasting money and wasting time over coaching. You can do self-preparation and you can do well.
Thank you for that guidance, sir. Next up, we have a question from Veda, and she's asking us most scoring section and which one must not miss. This is the question.
See, so CMAT, I think all the sections are important. You cannot pinpoint that this is scoring. For GK, if you need 99 percentile in GK, if you are doing 10 questions, it is doable. You can get a 99 percentile. And GK, mostly static portion is asked. There are dynamic portions also, but then otherwise QA is scoreable, not very difficult. English also, even logical reasoning you can score high. So based on your strength, if QA and LR are your strength, work on that, score well there. If you feel English is your strength, so build on your strength. And out of the 5 sections, at least 3 should be your strength. So work in that segment, you will do well.
Thank you for answering that, sir. Next up, we have a question from Pooja, and she's asking which all colleges are the part of CMAT Score, and are all the colleges are equivalent to IIM? This is the
Okay.
question.
So the top college for through CMAT is JBIMS, Jamnalal Bajaj. You must have heard about this. So it is a college in Mumbai, and JBIMS is called the CEO factory of India. Chanda Kochar, and there are many CEOs from JBIMS. So it is one of the best colleges for finance in India, and it is at par with IIM Kolkata. Very low fees, very small batch size. I think around 60 or 80 or maybe 120 hours batch. So that is the batch size, and the only thing is you need to score 99.96 plus. So in CMAT, I think I have not mentioned that you get rank also. So you get a percentile, you get a score, and you get rank also. So if you are in the top 20, 1 to 20 rank, you have a chance of getting 99.6 plus, and then you obviously get a call from JBIMS, and you can be sure to be selected. So anybody who is looking at JBIMS, who is looking at a career in finance, and also JBIMS is known for finance, but marketing, sales, operations, HR, these segments are equally good. You can do well there also. So JBMS is the first college. Then you have Simsri, Sydenham. It is again a very good college, low fees and quite good placements. Then KJ Somaiya, Goa Institute of Management, Great Lakes, and So these Great Lakes, then you have a couple of other colleges like IMT Nagpur, IMT Hyderabad. They also take the CMAT score. So these are some of the good colleges which you can aim. For the JBIMS, you need 99.96 plus, as I have told you. For SIMSRI, you need 99 plus. For the KJ Somaiya, Great Lakes, and Goa Institute of Management Gym, you need around 95 percentile. And for IMT Nagpur, IMT Hyderabad, around 90 would do. Then there are some other colleges like IFMR and Dalmia and IFM. So these colleges take around 85 and they are good in finance. Apart from that, as I have told you initially, there are around 1300 colleges. So even if you are getting an 80 percentile or 85, you'll have options open. But just remember that if you are doing MBA, it should be from the best college possible. So take guidance, and if you have to do MBA, you don't have any other option, you can take college based on your percentile.
Two questions I have received. I'll try to just combine it. The question is related to PI and GD round. How to build a profile for that?
So anybody who is having WorkX, if you are working, you need not worry too much about building a profile because most of your questions will be around your WorkX. What you have been doing, you should know what you are doing. So there are three kind of questions which come from the people who are working. What does your company do? What is your role? So many times, supposing somebody is in TCS, so people say what the same thing for what does the company do or what do you do, and how is your industry look? What is the role of your industry in building the nation? So you should know what your industry is doing, how your industry is heading, your company, and your particular role, and maybe your team. If you have a team, so what does your team do? What is the key area of your team? So people who are working should know this very well. Secondly, people who are in college, they need not worry about too much, and they should not worry that people who are having WorkX will have more weightage. As I have told you earlier also, students getting into a B school are 50-50 in the ratio of 50-50. So 50% freshers, if not 50, at least 40% are freshers, and 60% are people who have WorkX. So that is the rough distribution across the top B schools. So when you have to, the only person who has to worry about the profile is somebody who has dropped, who is not working, who is not in college, and is preparing for CAT, CMAT, or any other exam. In that case, you need to build your profile because you will be asked that what were you doing in the last 1 year or 2 years if you are not working and you are already a graduate. In that case, to build your profile, you can do some certifications based on your interest. There are a lot of courses on Coursera, edX, Udemy, courses on marketing, digital marketing, financial modeling. So based on your interest, you can pick up any of the courses and do some certifications. And if you want to build further, it is advisable that you do an internship in the same domain. So supposing you have done a digital marketing course from Coursera or edX, then you can go to say Internshala, Let's Intern, or there are a host of other companies which provide internship and do an internship in that field or create something of your own. So that will complement it. And when you sit in front of the panel for the interviews, you will be in a very strong position to answer that. So that is how you build your profile.
That's a very important point you have shared, sir. If a person has the gap year, something like that, the one can pursue actually some certificate course, and then
Yeah.
the profile is stronger uh, to create a better profile in front of the jury. Very valid point, sir. Next up, it would be better if you could just discuss something about the CMAT score and percentile because many students are confused which to target, which particular thing to consider, whether it should be CMAT score or percentile. So please share some insight on this.
So CMAT score and percentile are correlated, and out of 400, if you are getting around 350, then you have a score of 99.99. So unlike CAT, wherein at 60% you get 99.9, here you need to get 350, so which is roughly around 80% or so, 70-80%, 75-80%. So you need to get around 350 to get 99.9, especially if you are aiming for JBIMS, which is the top college. For 99.5, you need to get 325. Around 325, you get 99.5. around 315, you get 99 percentile. So 99 is also good. You'll get Simsri and you'll get calls from all the other colleges like KJ Somaiya, Great Lakes, and Jim. Then at 95, you need to have around 270 to get a 95 percentile, and to get 90 percentile around 260. Then 250 for around 85 percentile. That is the rough breakup. But if you are preparing for CMAT, aiming for the top colleges, ideally I would advise you to aim for at least 99 plus, so that you have Simsri, KJ Somaiya, Great Lakes, and Jim. All this should be in your list, and you get. And obviously, if you can work harder, 99.9 is also achievable, and aim for that.
Okay, sir, I'll ask you one question many students are confused about. They're confused about NTA CMAT, Test Practice Center, which they come up with. They have actually established to let Indian students practice and train themselves. So, would
Right.
you suggest them to just go and attempt those mocks there?
Very, very important, because see, it's all about getting familiar with the environment. When you take a test, you might know a lot many things. You might have studied for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. You know the concepts, you know everything. But if the environment is not friendly, it's not familiar, you might face difficulty.
Hmm.
So if you go visit there once and see how it is conducted, and if you can give a test, then it will definitely help you do better in the exam. So if you have an opportunity, if it is nearby, please go give a couple of mock tests. You'll have your confidence will be boosted, and when you go there on the D day, it won't look as an unknown area, and you
Hmm.
will be more at peace, more at calm, and you can do much better.
Okay. So I think it's time to wrap up our session for today. So, sir, I would request you to share some concluding words.
So I will advise students who like lot of students mail me, they message me that they are finding their CAT preparation to be not on track. They have studied for 3 4 months, but now they are feeling that it is not up to the mark. They're not getting the scores well. So first and foremost, for people who are preparing for CAT, I will advise you to just stick around. Don't get perturbed. Don't worry too much. It happens with 99% of the students. Every year I see people panicking at the last moment in the last month. So you should not panic, and understand that after CAT you have host of other exams, and like IFT is there, ZAT is there, SNAP and MAT, CMAT. Even CMAT has around 8 10 good colleges, and if you get in that college, and it's not about entering in a college. Even if you enter IIM Ahmedabad or Bangalore, you are not doing well there if you are not studying well, not working hard for those 2 years. You will not have a great career. You will not have a great placement. And even if you go to say a tier 2 college like KJ Sumaiya or Jim or XIMB, and if you do well, if you are there in the top 10% of the batch, you will have a very good career, starting with a very good package, with a very good profile. So those 2 years are also important, and these 3 4 months, which is the exam season, first it will be CAT, then IFT and MAT is going on, SNAP will be there, then ZAT will come up, then CMAT will be there, TISNET, MICA, and so there are so many exams. Just keep on preparing, keep on working hard, have faith in your abilities. Don't get bogged down if something is not working. Take help from mentors in case you are stuck somewhere, but keep on working hard. Even if you're studying for 4 5 hours per day consistently for the next 3 4 months, trust me on that, by the end of the cycle you will definitely get one good college, and your career will be will rise like anything. So don't worry too much, have patience, have faith, you will do well.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and your guidance, and moreover, answering all our queries. Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best to all the aspirants. Have a good day.
And thank you to our viewers for being with us and asking relevant questions. And Siksha will come up with new sessions soon. So keep on checking Siksha website www.shiksha.com for more updates. And this video will be available soon after this live session will get over. And also it will be available on the YouTube after around 2 days. So you can check it there as well. And all the very best for the examination. And with this, I am Shilpa signing off. Till then, take care and keep dreaming high. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.